All right. What's up, everyone? How y'all doing today? You guys know the drill. I need to get this out to everyone first. So if you're watching the replay, I would skip like maybe a minute. Nah, probably 2 or 3 minutes just to be safe. So it can be slow at times. My peeps, my people. I think that's it. Got it out to everyone. Cool. All right, let's tune into the content. Garrett, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? How's your night going? Or day, depending on where you are. I think for you, it might be still daytime, but sorry, I'm a little bit late. Usually I like to stream around like 7:30, but some stuff came up. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. And let's get started. So I really wanted to stream yesterday, just kind of, just to show that the longs are doing good and all that, but I had some stuff that came up, wasn't able to necessarily get to the charge, or at least get on live stream at a reasonable time, so I figured I would just pop on here today and talk about what's been going on, what's possible, what my next step is, what my plan is. Maybe you guys can, come up with something similar. So Bitcoin, in my opinion, is at a very crucial level for the shorter to mid-term time frames, as you would say. And the reason why I say that is because we do have the bull structure there, and it's kind of finding its way, trying to figure out what it wants to do. So there's going to be times like this where it's going to be choppy. Never really is the cleanest setup at all times. And I feel a certain way about it because based off of this bigger structure we have here, depending on, I'm zooming way too far out. This bearish ABC that's been in the works for the past couple months, it has significant weight in my opinion, and I think that the market's going to be shifting towards a bearish sentiment or longer term bearish trend for a while. And that necessarily doesn't mean it have to be a bad thing. It could be just a lot of sideways action, and a lot of the times, people don't like prices unless it's going up. So I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but it does not look good. But there is room to play. Now, what I'm thinking is we have this bigger setup here on this ABC to the downside within that C leg, which I always like to at least note in my head that there's usually some sort of ABC within the C. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to happen. It's not guaranteed. but more often than not, I do see it. But my plan has still remained the same throughout the entirety of the last, let's say, week or so. Is I was waiting for this lower low here at about 38.5 to take my longs. Once the price got back above it, I did take my longs, and it did work out for a while, and eventually it did go against me. So I'm on the sidelines until prices do get back above that certain level. I'm not in a rush to get any position in. I'm in my shorts. Shorts are doing okay. So just kind of just waiting to see what happens. But the longer prices likes to stay in this lower area and not really find a good bounce, in my opinion, we're probably going to test from an ABC structure standpoint at least 33k. You know, there's local lows in between, and it can always form another structure anytime in, you know, anywhere in between where we are now in 30. What did I just say? 33k. Yeah. So that's always possible, but that's what I'm just looking forward. I'm looking for in the near future. Good, bro. Thank you. No problem, buddy. Josh V, hype. What's up, man? How you doing? How's your night going, Josh? So that's just my plan. Let's go over to ETH. You know, ETH, it's a very similar situation. Is I'm looking for same thing. We got a bigger ABC on a little bit more of a zoomed out time frame, or at least zoomed out perspective, I would say. And within that C leg, I do see an ABC. So instead of, you know, trying to play the little moves in between, I'm only going to be taking longs as long as ETH is above 28.80. Until then, I'm not really planning on doing much. Maybe if, you know, the opportunities come up in other coins in the near future, I will take a look at that. Am I really going to be, you know, playing those coins? Not necessarily, unless a good setup does come up and I'm willing to risk just a little bit. But for me and my style, especially in the beginning with these accounts that I play and more of my macro positions and my other swing accounts that I use, I like to primarily just focus on BTC and ETH, but nothing wrong with occasionally taking a position on a smaller coin. Let's see, Josh, working around doing consult. So busy today, didn't even catch the bloodbath. Sushi getting back down to that MAC rate, you see. Ooh, is it? There it is. Yeah. Good eye. I will make a note of that. I was gonna set an alert too, just in case it does get down there. But good eye, Josh. All right, so that's basically the main idea of what I'm going with right now. That's the beauty, and also kind of a bad thing for me, is the plan is simple. The plan can sometimes take a while to actually take place and execute, but also there's not really that much content for me to go around, so. Any thoughts on the bullish divergence on the 4 hour and 1 hour? Are you looking at just RSI or MACD as well? And also, what's your, depending on what settings you have, because I personally, I haven't used RSI in a while. I haven't used RSI in a while, but I personally use a different scale of it, or I look at a different length to where price or the actual RSI itself is less exaggerated, so you can see the more true divergences. So get rid of these bands. Okay, yeah, I do see the 1 hour one. Garrett, are you using the same settings as I am? The 125? Now you said also the 4 hour. I was just thinking, look at that. Oh yeah, it is holding here. Yeah, that's a good area to keep an eye on. See, the thing is, like, it gets to the point where in the beginning, like, I'm not saying that it's a clear-cut answer every time or it's exact, but with these ABC setups, you do see a pretty strong correlation with either bullish or bearish divergences depending on what direction you're looking at. In this case, you know, the divergence from the A to the C is there. The bullish divergence is there. I think, let's check on the 1 hour. Yeah, on the 1 hour, same thing. So that's, you know, that's another way to back up your idea if you do want to take it that way. Me personally, I don't have to look at it, and sometimes it can lead you to have conflicting thoughts. So what I mean by that is, I personally know someone who's done this in the past, and sometimes the setups are there, but they won't take it unless the bullish or bearish divergence is showing based off of that ABC. So in this case scenario, you know, let's say the ABC's here, but you know, it's not diverging, it's converging. He won't necessarily take the setup where he won't have full confidence in it. And you can play that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't or should. It's just that for me personally, I have confidence in the setups that I see, and a lot of the times I can just pull up the RSI, and more often than not, it does show some sort of converging, or not converging. I can't think of the word. Wow. Well, it gives me similar answers. I can't think of the word right now. I don't know why I'm all messed up right now. But the divergence doesn't have to necessarily be there for me to take a position, but that is a good, a good point of confluence if you are looking for something like that. So, but yeah, it's another good way to back up your ideas. Another good thing to look at. I wouldn't necessarily make it the bread and butter. Maybe at first, if you want to spot the divergences as another, you know, layer of support for your idea, you could do that, but that's just me personally. Confirmation, yep. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Thank you, Garrett. I'm all messed up today. You enjoyed 422. No, I'm not. No, I'm just, it's just me being tired. I got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep last night. Had work all day. Went to the gym for the first time in a while. Trying to get back into swing of that. Immediately drove home. And then just be driving around all day and just sitting behind a computer screen. Just this week's already taken a toll on me. And it did take me a little bit to recover from 420, but not this long. So if you guys have any other questions, you want me to look at anything, feel free to ask. To open up the floor to you guys. Well, I'm just getting here, kind of settling down for everything. What are your targets if this ABC works out? So it depends. Me personally, you know, I don't necessarily like to give straight answers because I don't know what's going to happen. I like to put it in the perspective of me giving different ideas of what could happen. And then from there, as time goes on, if the plan does work out, I can come up with different variations of the plan as things are going along. So for me personally, there's going to be 2 points I'm looking for. Now, how I go off of this is depending on what I'm looking for, 2 to 3 different things. One, I'm looking for confluence. Not confluence. God, I'm all messed up here. I'm looking for a certain fib target. So for me, it's always the 0.5 to 0.441 or 0.382, anywhere in between. That's an area of good resistance in my opinion. And it also lines up with some of the chop that was here. I think I did mention this a while ago in previous streams. That's not a rectangle. But that's probably one of the first areas I'm looking for, is a slightly higher test above this B wave here at the top of the B. So anywhere from probably 44, because you're going to want to see something like this. So let me just paint a picture. Let me just get this off the screen. So this is going to be 1A. The B is probably want to come up here, and it's probably going to take its time. If this is going to be a true B wave, it doesn't have to necessarily be a straight shot. It can be a straight shot, but from what I've seen, it's going to take its time. Now, depending on where this wants to go, based off the bigger idea, I'm going to be looking for, keep doing that, zooming out, 33K before I start getting bullish again. I mean, there is local lows at 34.2 and a good area of support around 37. So, you know, you could just get a small ABC here, and then you can continue upward. 100% in the cards, definitely an option. But I'm taking it step by step, and for me personally, that's gonna be the first area I'm looking for. Another idea that's out there. Now, this is one of my least likely options. This is probably like bottom of the barrel option for me. It's completely possible that this was an A, this was a B, and we're gonna have an ABC within the C. All it has to do is put in a higher high, and that's going to line up with the 52, 53K area. Completely possible. So that's another possibility. Like I said, this probably carries the least weight, in my opinion, of the varieties or the different options that I have on the table. But that is something that can happen. So that's something to look out for. And then really, you know, you can take that idea level by level. Now let's say that area doesn't hold at first. This 40, 44, 43K level. Let's say it breaks through. The next thing you're going to want to look for is the retest of this A, this bigger structure here. So you could get some sort of retest all the way up. Something like that before continuing downward again. Or, you know, if that breaks, most likely the next option is going to be the one I just mentioned, where the C leg is going to have a more extended ABC to the upside. Something like that. So that's just kind of my thought process of how I approach this. And I like to just take it scenario by scenario. Okay, if this happens, what's the next step? Okay, if the next step doesn't go as planned, what's the backup, or what's the next opportunity? What's the next possible option? That's how I kind of just take it level by level. So, let's see. So hopefully that answers your question. Those are just the certain areas that I'm looking for personally. So let's see what happens until then. You know, this could just be a straight shot down as well. This could just keep going down. Who knows? All right. Yep, thank you again, bro. Yeah, sure, buddy, no problem. That's what I'm here for. Get a second opinion, ask questions, and also possibly get another perspective. You know, this is how I roll. what? I did want to look at something. Just go to a chart. I don't use that much. US. Interesting. I heard Tesla was down big today. Ooh. Uh-oh. Do you guys see what I see? Damn right. That is an ABC to me. Wow. Did it have an ABC correction on the smaller time frames? Or setup at least? Kinda. Yeah, that kind of lines up as well. Interesting. See, confirmation is always good, just as long as it's not feeding your fears. Exactly. You don't want it to. You don't want to psych yourself out into a position, or you don't want to get overconfident in a trade. The indicator is not an answer; it's just a tool. Should be an added bonus to your plan. Interesting. What about Twitter? Because I know Elon did officially buy Twitter. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did have a gap up. Is that today? Oh, I'm on a 1 hour. Duh. I barely moved. See how that goes. Yep, he officially bought it. I saw a tweet, and I want to dig into this more. That was very interesting to me. Apparently, now let me just make sure I got it right before I start spewing facts here. Resource accounts. Yeah, that's who it is. So what's this guy saying? I want to show you that guy. I want to show you guys this. This is pretty interesting. Now, I don't know how true this is, or I don't know where he got this information from. I'm just going based off of what I see. Look at this. Elon Musk borrowed $12.5 billion via a margin loan to complete his acquisition of Twitter. However, he has pledged $62.5 billion in Tesla shares. If the Tesla stock falls by 43% to $37.5 billion in value, Musk will receive a margin call. If that is true, that's insane. Obviously, you know, I don't expect the man to have billions in cash, so this kind of makes sense that he put up his portion of Tesla as collateral. But that is crazy. I saw something else here. Yeah, based on today's close. So if Tesla gets to $500, he could receive a margin call. What's going to happen to Tesla if that happens? I just thought that was an interesting idea. Like I said, I don't know how true that is. I don't know where he got that information from. But I thought that was really interesting. So if you guys have any other questions for me, feel free to shoot. I'm going to be on here for a little bit. Not too long, probably like, you know, the usual time, 30, maybe 45 minutes. I do gotta edit some videos that I plan on putting out soon, hopefully. I just suck at editing though. It's a process for me. Sucks big time. Oh yeah, for sure. Especially if you don't know how to use Adobe Premiere Pro. That's what I use. Is there anything you guys want me to talk about? Doesn't have to be charged. It could be topics. If you want, I can go over something from the Trading in Zone. If you guys want me to, I can read some of the notes here I have for you. There's some good insight. I think it'll be kind of cool. Just give you a little sneak peek, because I have a lot of stuff that I'm covering on the book for the Discord. And a lot of this, like, it's very grounding, in my opinion. That, you know, for me, I've done well without minimal mistakes. You know, I have made some mistakes in the past, but luckily I was aware of the possibilities of what could happen, so I diversified appropriately. I wasn't using too much risk. I did, you know, have some mess ups, but I can't personally say that I've truly failed as a trader. So one of the things, so like when I go back and read this book, it's very interesting because, you know, a lot of the concept that he talks about is, it goes necessarily about a couple different avenues. One of the main things is your initial approach to trading. Now, one of the things that he talks about, which is very true, it's true for me, it was true for everyone who's been in this situation at first, is when you first see a chart, what do you see? You just see a line or candles going up and down. You have no thoughts, you have no emotions, you have no ideas. There's nothing that you're connected to this chart. You just see a picture of a graph. And sometimes when you're first starting out, since you don't know any better, you know, you might take some trades here willy-nilly, and hey, you know, you might win, or you never know, you might lose, now depending on what happens. And then you start to, once you just start to dive in more, if you're not properly assessing yourself from the get-go, and you start going into trading at a certain direction or just a certain mindset in general, you're doomed. You're doomed from the start, because everyone's goal is to make money. Completely fair. That's why we're all here. If that wasn't the case, this stuff wouldn't exist. So when you have that mentality, and let's say you lose, well, your goal is not to lose or be wrong. So that you start looking for edges. And the reason why you look for edges can dictate your success or failure as a trader. And I'm trying to just kind of spitball it without really looking at my notes to see if I retained it well. Because what's going to happen is, if you go about it from a negative mindset, so let's say you lose, all right? But now, so you want to dive more into charts. You want to learn about TA, you want to learn about patterns and all this stuff, or in this case, the ABC. But you're approaching it from the aspect of, okay, I'm going to use this and I'm going to win. I'm going to beat the market. I'm going to outsmart the market. Well, these edges don't promise anything. Each individual trade is a complete random probability, even though that it might show similar patterns or it might show similar signs of what happened in the past. Each trade doesn't represent one from the future or from the past. Each trade is its own significant event. So you cannot approach it from a past perspective. Okay, this happened, so this must have happened. Or, you know, this ABC is here, so this ABC is going to work out here. It's not how that works. And you can slowly dive into a rabbit hole of trying to beat the market when you should really take a step back and understand anything is possible. When you ground yourself and you think, okay, my plan is this. My plan consists of this. If the parameters are hit, I don't care what's going on. I'm going to stick to the plan and pull the trigger, regardless of if I'm trying to short while prices are going up, or if I'm trying to, long while prices are going down. The mindset of how you approach this can dictate your entire career from the get-go. So that's this little idea. I'm just gonna read you a little thing as well. It's all about, let's see, and like being a good trader is like, it consists of a lot of things, but two of the big things that you have to realize is you have to have a set of rules that you're dead set on. And this is what I talked about in the past or just now was, you might have one side of you that thinks, okay, the markets don't look good, and let's say the macro ABC, the downside is there, the probabilities and odds are the shorts. But at the same time, the plan of what you came up with shows that you might be able to long. You have to be able to separate the two. Regardless of how you feel, you have to be willing to stick to your plan and trade it regardless, because you never know what's going to happen. Just because your edge or your indicator says something doesn't mean it's a guarantee it's going to happen. So it's about being able to be flexible with your ideas, but also being rigid to your actual trade plan. And so I'm just going to read you a little list here. This is pretty cool. I'm probably going to go into this in another video, but this is an idea here. So this list I'm going to read you off here. It's called the 5 fundamental truths of becoming a probabilistic trader and having a probabilistic mindset on trading. All right, there's 5 things. Number one, anything can happen. Now, obviously, like I just said, regardless of what your bias is, regardless of what your indicators say, regardless of what your plan calls for, anything can happen. Like I said, I'm not going to dive too deep into that. 2, you don't need to know what is going to happen next in order to make money. A lot of this goes back to the same thing, to the same reasonings. Is I don't know what's going to happen, obviously, but I have a plan. Like this ABC is there. Is it going to play out, or is it going to keep falling? It doesn't matter. At some point, the plan is going to work out. Like I said, I don't know that at all, but at some point, if I stick to a plan, the results are going to get more consistent. Let's see. Number 3, there is a random wow, I'm really messing up today. There is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. Like I said before, a good example he gives in the book is like flipping a coin. Your odds are 50-50, but just because the last 5 flips were tails doesn't mean that the 6th one's going to be tails. There's a 50-50 chance for every single time you flip that coin, which I thought was pretty cool. It can be applied to the market very easily. So let's see. Number 4, an edge is nothing more than an indication of higher probability of one thing happening over the other. There you go. Like I said, a lot of it relates to what's going on and how I approach things. So the same thing with the ABC. Let's see. God, I made too many side notes here. Yep. Every moment in the market is unique, and not one situation the same as the other. Like we just said, just because you have certain ideas, just because you have prior indications and prior similar patterns of let's say you're looking at an Adam and Eve or something. Just because Adam and Eve played out in the past doesn't mean it's going to be the same thing's going to happen in the future. Just because one target was hit on a double bottom doesn't mean the next target's going to be hit on a double bottom. Just because we have an ABC here, and it bounced support at the 0.441 doesn't mean the next one that's similar is going to do the same thing. So that was kind of all over the place because my notes are all over the place. I got to go through and structure them better. But just a little section from the scripture, as I like to call it, the trading scripture. So. Hopefully you guys know this already. If not, you learned something new. And if you do know it already, it's always just good to just remind yourself of stuff like that. So, let's see, 35 minutes. All right, I'll go for like 10 more minutes. I got stuff to do, but we're good, you know, just hang up a little bit more. Yep, thank you for that. Thanks, brother. Of course, buddy. Read that book. Read that book. If you haven't read it, read it again. Trading is Owned by Mark Douglas. Now, I'm just letting you guys know, I don't like to read. I do not like books. But for me, it might be different for you, but for me personally, I like listening to things. Like, I can, if someone explains things to me, like in person, like, you know, we can have a conversation and you can, you know, go through those steps with me in person without having to read anything. That's how I learn, me personally. If you're not like that, and let's say you have to physically see what's going on, you know, the book doesn't really give you any examples. It's just kind of just text. If you like book, if you like book, it's not like a caveman. You like book. If you like books, go get the book and read it. Nobody does. Kite Bud, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. Did you hear me go on my rant about the book? But yeah, nobody likes to read. That's not true. My girlfriend loves to read. She's been reading every day for like 105 days. I think her last book was like 1,200 pages. She finished in like a month, not even, a couple weeks. So she's a freak. She's always has a Kindle on her. She's always going at it. So that's not true. Some people do like to read, just not me, and most people here probably. Been here for about 15 minutes. Didn't want to mess up your flow. What'd you think? Was I all over the place? I know you read the book multiple times. I'm not done officially with it yet. I've read ahead, but I'm going back and just taking notes about some of the stuff that he highlighted. That's usually what I do. Sometimes I try to just focus on every single thing that he was saying, and then stopping, you know, taking a note if I like something, going back, listening. But no, I would go through a chapter probably 2 or 3 times before I, you know, can decide what I want to write and decide what's important in each chapter. It was good. Saying what needs to be said. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, like, I don't like to read, but this is a good book, man. It's a good book. I like to listen, not to read, but it's a good book to listen to. Yeah, man. For sure. All right. So you got caught up on everything. Thanks for all the info, Johnny. Really, yeah. Garrett, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. It's always nice to be able to chat with you guys. Take care, brother. Thank you, Garrett. Thank you for stopping by. Kite, thank you as well. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Kite. I love you too. Was that a little bit too much? I think it was. It's okay. All right, so before I go, just a quick little wrap up here. Not much has changed really. I'm still planning to take my longs above this A. I'm not too focused about what's going on here. If she dies, she dies. That's my motto. But until then, that's the plan. You know, if prices keep falling, I'm gonna be waiting to see if she wants to go down and test 33k, or at least get below before I can consider taking a bigger position. If not, maybe something in between here. Who knows? We'll see how price action develops and matures. ETH is the same thing. Where's my ETH? You know, I'm not taking any positions above below 2880. So if it gets back above 2880, I will take another long and see what happens from there. But until then, that's about it. I'm gonna cancel you now. It's funny. I lost my train of thought. You made me think about getting canceled. I mean, hey, we had a good ride if we did. You ain't getting your nacho fries though, I'll tell you that. We eat them right in front of you. Your bouquet of nacho fries no longer yours. It's gonna make it all nice and pretty for you too, but more cheese sauce for me. Oh, what the hell happened? Gotta change the inputs on here. What? Too far. Shouldn't have canceled you, buddy. It's okay. If the Rodizio is good enough, I'll leave you a nice surprise of nacho fries for you. I can't wait for that Rodizio, man. I haven't had one in years. It's funny. All right, guys. So I went on a little. For some reason I was on a flow here and I got distracted. But ETH, same thing. Not taking my longs, and that's about it. I'm holding my shorts. You know, I also got a short in from this ABC here. You know, it's a little bit of a smaller time frame play, but you know, in my opinion, and what I was going through in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a chance on a smaller position just in case. So I have nothing to lose. Prices go up, cool. I'll take the long. If not, I'm winning regardless. So thank you guys so much, and hope you guys have a good rest of your evening, because it's already almost 10 o'clock, at least in my time. So hope you guys have a good night. I'm gonna try to get on here probably Thursday or Friday. That's gonna be my thing, probably 2 times a week until I can get something more consistent. It's just everything's going crazy right now. So until then, that's the plan. If you guys like the video, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. I'd appreciate it a lot. I really do. And until then, be good, be safe, stick to the plan, trade smart, don't risk too much. I can go on and on, but just be good.